we had done up to verse 6, chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. So today we are going to continue from verse 7 of chapter 2. Just to give you a small background of what has happened till just now. Arjuna has literally given up in the fight, saying that I am not interested in fighting, and he has gone to the back of the chariot and he has put down his arms, saying, I don't want to fight. These people are my relatives, my friends, my forefathers, all grandfathers, grandsires, everybody. How can I fight with them and kill them? This is what he has said. And he says a lot of stuff which tells us that normally in our life also we do that. How can I say these things to someone? Or how can I fight with my near and dear ones? If there is an elder in the family, how can I refute him? How can I can say anything bad against them? And this is how we always see our world as. This is always, we will say things so that, it is kind of a way of putting it. I don't want to be a part of it. We like to shirk and we like to go away from it. And this is exactly what Arjuna wants to do. Arjuna doesn't want to fight. So, when he did this, Sri Krishna said that I would like to tell you some things. Now, let us see from verse 7 what exactly transpires. We are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita, away the grief which is drying up my senses. Now, in this, Arjuna is very clear. He says that, when I look at it from my perspective, I can see the futility of it all. I don't need to fight. This is a fight amongst kith and kin. I don't think I should fight. I feel that this is going against my own ethics. He is coming up with a lot of stuff which says, that I wouldn't want to be a part of this whole fight that is going, the war that is going on. And because there is this issue, he is very clear. I don't want to take any decision. See, this decision if I were to take, then it is going to go against the vein of everything that I have learned till today. Because these are the duties which I am supposed to do towards the world. I have duty towards my family, I have duty towards my kith and kin, I have duties towards literally everybody in this world. And if I have a duty which I need to perform, how can I go against this entire thing? So Arjuna's way of saying is right from his perspective. And there are certain decisions which need to be taken. These are harsh decisions. And when it's a question of taking a decision which is going to go against the duty which we are supposed to do, it is a very tough call, isn't it? You wouldn't want to do anything against it. What is it that you wish to do? You would rather shy away from it. You would rather say, I can't do this. This is not possible for me. Now, many a times we have also faced this kind of a situation in our life, where there is a call of duty and we find that some things which are supposedly against it, we don't want to do. You understand? Now, if there is an elderly person in our family, maybe a mother, a father, a grandfather or a grandmother, and you see them doing something wrong, at that moment in time, you cannot reprimand them, you cannot shout at them, you cannot say whatever you feel like. They are not your children, they are elderly people, they are grown-ups, and we are supposed to respect them. True? And this is the reason why Arjuna has said these words to Sri Krishna. He says, see, understand, I am not in a position to take a call at this moment in time because I really don't have any understanding. Alright? So, decidedly, I am your good disciple. I am your disciple. And because I am your disciple, I would like you to take a decision for me. How many times in life have we said these words? We don't want to take a decision. We would rather somebody senior to us, or maybe our elderly person in the house should take a decision for us. The decision may be not to our liking. You see, we may not like the decision, but there are certain things we want them to take decision. Why? You see, it's a common human tendency. If I were to decide, the blame is on me. Okay? If somebody else decides, then the blame is on them. I didn't do anything. He said it. He said it. See, it's a very common thing. We love to name other people and shirk away from taking major decisions in our life. And here Arjuna is saying, even if I were to get the undisputed sovereignty and an affluent kingdom on earth and lordship over the gods, that means he is now going to an extreme. What is the extreme? He says, if I were to become the super god, like the king of gods, if I were to become an Indradev is supposedly the king of gods. So he says, even if you say today, by taking this kind of a decision, I were to become the king of the gods, or if I were to get the sovereignty over the whole earth for that matter, that means I become the king of this whole land, I still wouldn't want to do it. Why? Because I am hurt very badly. I am hurt. I don't feel like it. I am afraid. I don't want to take this decision. It is something which is going against my entire vein, my entire being. How can I do this? It is like a betrayal, isn't it? As if I am betraying someone in life. See, even as a kid, we have this dilemma. We see our best friend doing something wrong in school. To become that person who goes and does the chamchagiri, we say, go and tell the teacher, oh, this fellow used to, we find it so tough against our own friend. How can we do that? And sometimes we hide everything. Sometimes we shy away from taking this decision. And many a times, we don't want to be a part of that decision making. Small children, they have a habit. They like to go and do some kind of a mischief somewhere. They will pull somebody's hair, they will do something like that. Everywhere it's like that only. Same thing across the world. Now these children are very nasty. And there is always one boy who doesn't want to be a part of it. But he is not going to go and snitch on those boys. Suppose there are 8 or 10 of them, he is not going to go and snitch on them and tell the teacher, this happened. You know the reason why? First, he is not interested in it. Okay. Second, he is not a part of whatever is going on at that moment in time. He just wants to be away. But those boys are going to be boys. Boys or girls are going to be exactly the way they are. What do? If you have seen this movie, oh my God, OMG 2, you will find that this is a scene which is played out very beautifully. Every small kid, every literally in school is watching porn. Okay? They are watching on their cell phone. And this boy is not doing it. And because he is not a part of it, they go and they snitch on this fellow and they say something wrong about him. Now, understand this one thing. So, now I don't want to go into the whole story. This is a part of our life always. There are certain things which we say. It's who is saying? You are saying that this is right and this is wrong. We have this clarity in our life, that what this person is doing is right and what this person is doing is wrong. Now, let us look at it from individual perspectives. And when you look at it from individual perspectives, they are right from their perspective. Every individual is right from his or her perspective. We are the ones who are making the judgments on both these people. Right? You will find that there are certain things in our life where we say that, I don't want to do this because it is wrong. But if I say if it is wrong, the other person feels that you are in the wrong and I feel that he is in the wrong. And it's a part of individual perspective, isn't it? So, who is right and who is wrong? No idea. At such moment in time, you have to take a decision. Alright? What is the decision that you have to take? Think about it. As a mother, when you are putting your child in school, or when you are about to put your child in school, do you know the first thing that you need to do is to become corrupt? You will be amazed to know that you become corrupt on the day you go to school. The school says you have to pay so much amount of lakhs of rupees so that your child can be admitted. And when you say that, okay, how does this work out? And so they will give you some vague figures. By the way, they will tell you not to write it down anywhere. Okay? And they will just give a ballpark figure. Give 5 lakhs, give 10 lakhs, like that. Alright? And you really wonder, well, the education is so expensive? And the person in front of you will say, we are the cheapest among this and we are the best school over here. And finally, because you want your child to go to the best of the schools, you succumb to it. Have you succumbed to this kind of a thing in your life also? Many a times you have paid bribes, many a times you have done something wrong, and you have always had the guilt in you, right? At such point in time when there is something like this happening, suppose you have your husband or somebody with you, you will ask that person, do you think we should pay this? And that person will tell you, what is the choice? You tell me. So when you don't have a choice, what do? You have to do it, isn't it? Now at such point in time, the big question called the duty comes into the picture. What is the duty? And you know how easy it is for you to say, I owe it to my children to have the best education in the world. I owe it to my children because they should get the best education in the world, so I am willing to do anything. So your duty went out of the window. You are encouraging corruption. So what duty are you talking about? And when you have to take this kind of a decisions, even if it is a matter of registering properties or doing something in your life, you have taken a call where you have done something where you have literally, smothered the conscience that is there. Now here is Arjuna saying, I don't want to do this. Arjuna is very clear. He says, I don't want to be feeling guilty about anything. And I think this is my duty. And that is the reason why he pushes on the decision making to Sri Krishna. He says, you take the call. And then what happens? We will see. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 9. Sanjaya said, O king, having thus spoken to Shri Krishna, Arjuna again said to him, I will not fight, and became silent. Then, O Dhritarashtra, Sri Krishna, as if smiling, addressing the following words to Arjuna, sorrowing in the midst of the two armies. And here you will find that Arjuna is pleading to Sri Krishna, saying that, this is something wrong. I am not willing to be a part of this wrong that is happening in this world. Can you see the right and the wrong in this? Now look at it. There are perspectives. If you look at it from the perspective of Draupadi, do you see anything wrong in this? You will say, what kind of a husband do I have? Why is he not fighting? Got it? So the perspectives are changing. And here the answer is Arjuna is giving his own perspective. My mind says so. My mind says, I can't fight my elders. I can't do this kind of a thing. It is a matter of life and death. I have to kill somebody. How can I kill somebody? They are my kith and kin, my own blood, my own family. How do I do it? And so he tells Sri Krishna, see, I don't want to do this. I will not fight. Here is in the middle of the battlefield, Kurukshetra. And here you have Arjuna saying, I will not fight. Now all this is being conveyed by Sanjaya through Dhritarashtra. Remember this. We have to keep the track of the story, how it is going on. And Dhritarashtra is listening to it. And Sri Krishna is meanwhile standing over there looking at his own disciple. His own disciple, Arjuna, and he is totally bewildered. He says, what is this he is doing? Now in the middle of the two armies, he is standing over there and he is thinking, oh, I have to now tell him something. So, verse 11, chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita, Shri Bhagavan said, Arjuna, you grieve over those who should not be grieved for, and yet speak like the learned. Wise men do not sorrow over the dead or the living. Now, here is Sri Krishna explaining something to him. He says, this person is the greatest villain of all. Who? Duryodhan, Dushasan and his entire army. They are bad people. You know what kind of things they have done to you. You should remember it at that point in time. You should not be saying, I don't want to do anything. Remember it. He says, you should not be grieving over things like this. But as a wise man, the way you are speaking, you are bringing in lot of duties and what we owe to the society and all this on one side. And you are talking about somebody who is a pure villain. Absolutely. You should not be talking like this. And we should not be sorrowing over the dead or the living. Now this is a verse which says, do not sorrow over the dead or the living. This is a line which is the starting of a very important thing which we should learn. There are living beings and then there are dead human beings also. And we are very much attached to them. The biggest problem of a human being is when they take a decision in life, it is about attachment. So here Sri Krishna is introducing a very important subject, and that is called detachment. Attachment is one thing. We are attached to literally every person and thing. We are attached to even inanimate objects. Okay, it could be a ring, a ring which your mother must have given or some grandmother must have given, and suppose you misplace it. You get very upset about it. Oh my God, that's my grandmother's ring, blah, 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 blah. It's called attachment to a thing. Sometimes things get lost. Sometimes they get stolen. Sometimes some things happen. Imagine a car. You have bought a car and it gets scratched a little. Cars, they are going to get scratched. When you send your child outside to play, naturally he is going to get hurt. Mummy, I got hurt over here. And yes, he's going to come bawling. It's going to happen. Especially white clothes. Have you noticed? White has a tendency to gather, all the dog. possible in the world. You wear white color clothes and very, very uncannily you will stain it. It is going to happen. And then you rue over it and say, oh, my white color dress it was. Now see, it's got spoiled. Things, places. You are so much about places. You know, you keep on talking about places. It's my place, my location, my house. You understand? You are so particular about it. This is called attachment. And then people. What people are to you? Your own family? Your own children? You got what I am saying? You are very much attached to them. Let someone say something to your child. You are going to get very upset. But if somebody says something to the neighbor's child, are you interested? You are least bothered. Why? They are nobody related to me. If the neighbors, you are staying in a locality, in an area, and something happens to the neighbor's property, okay, the tree falls on their roof, you will only say, oh my God, the tree fell on their roof. That's it. Beyond that, nothing. But if it fell on your roof, you are going to make a big show of it. Oh my God, this happened, that happened, blah, 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 blah. What to do now? Insurance, this, that. How many things are you going to be bothered about? You go hungry one day. You're going to be cribbing the whole day. I didn't get to eat, I didn't get to eat, I didn't get to eat. And there are thousands of people who are going hungry. You don't care about it. You understand what I'm saying? Attachment is this. You get attached to your body, your relatives, your things, your places. And this attachment is very, very dicey. So Sri Krishna has just introduced us a subject which is going to be repeating now constantly. And that is the reason why he says, why are you bothered about the living or the dead? Just because they are your relatives? Your neighbor's father dies. Do you care? You'll go for giving a condolence, oh, I'm so sorry your father died. Your own father dies, or your grandfather dies, or grandmother dies, or somebody dies. You're going to be ruining it for years at stretch. Oh, my father, oh, my mother, oh, this, oh, that. What is that? How much of attachment is there? These are the same people who are the biggest villains in your own life. And you have never recognized it. They have made you what you are today. Your thinking process is because of them. The way you behave is because of them. Maybe you got married just because they said you got to get married to this person. Where is the choice you had? Even in education, you may have wanted to become, an astronaut. They say, no, girls cannot do that. This one cannot do that. That one cannot do that. What is that? Who is this person? These are the same person who have destroyed your own life, and yet you are so much bothered about them. Do you understand this? Your neighbor's father has not done anything like that. Has he? No. Your own father might have done, your own mother might have done, your own grandmother must have done. And today, it has not entered your being that these are the same people who are your jailbird, your jailers. They jailed you for so many years. Maybe they had a son. They allowed the son to go out even at the age of 16 and do whatever he feels like. That guy went and robbed somebody, he did this, he broke somebody's window. Nobody said anything to him. But you, if you come late, where were you? What were you doing? You can't have a boyfriend, you can't do this. Do you see this difference? And this is how you have been treated, but you have never accepted that is how the difference is. So the same people whom you feel are your relatives are the ones responsible for the way you are today. And you want to do the same to your children also. Why do you want to do the same to your children? It is something which is not a done thing. You want to be free. You have to give them their freedom as well. Now, freedom doesn't mean taking advantage. Okay, please remember one thing. Freedom doesn't mean going and drinking and all kinds of nonsense stuff, drugs and all that. What I mean by freedom is the freedom of choice, the freedom of doing something that they feel happy about. Not because you want them to do something, but they should be interested in something. Encouraging them to do something. Now here, the attachment is the root cause of evil in this world. People don't understand it. We keep on, thinking about dead people all the time. They are dead and gone. They are relatives of yours. Okay? In this life. And now they are born in that enemy's household. So what are they now to you? Do you get the point or no? Okay. Now there are two countries, India and Pakistan. Okay. You have your grandparents or parents or whoever that, and this fellow dies. And now he is born in Pakistan. So what happened to your father is now a Pakistani, is it? I mean, I'm asking you this question so that understand this. Now he is reborn in Pakistan. So now he has become your enemy. Do you understand? This is called attachment. Don't be attached. That person who is so-called your father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, whoever it might be, they are just bodies. B-O-D-I-E-S. Don't be so much attached to them. You don't have to be attached. Otherwise, you are going to take all the wrong decisions in your life. And we are going to learn about this kind of decisions which we take, which are going to be detrimental to our own way of life. We are going to learn about that. So now, the next verse he says, in fact, there was never a time when I was not, or when you and these kings were not, nor is it a fact that hereafter we shall all cease to be. So this person who is dead, so-called dead person, is going to be born again. Like you were born in some family today, you will be dead very soon and you will be born in some other place. How do you know? We don't know, isn't it? So the same way your own parents, grandparents or whoever it might be, they are going to die and they will be born again. And what are they going to be born again as? You don't know. So then why are you so much bothered about them? Think about it. I will give you an example. Today, you see a crate. You have seen a crate of soft drinks. Okay. Now in the crate of soft drinks, there is a drink called Coca-Cola. And one Coca-Cola bottle looks at the other Coca-Cola bottle and says, that's my mother, that's my father, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my this one, that's my... Really? And you will say, oh, you've gone mad. No, I'm saying, this is a cartoon. Think like that. That's my brother next to me over here. By the way, behind me is my husband. And then the bottles get empty. Alright? And now the same water which was used in the bottle is now bottled in some other soft drink. Now you have become a Pepsi. The person behind you has become some other. Okay? A Mirinda, God knows, some other drink. Now what happened to that husband and mother and brother and all that? They all got redistributed, no? So how can you say that is this? So understand this, nobody is yours. Nobody, not even what comes out of your body is yours. In a very weird manner, my Guruji explains, in a very, very weird manner. He says, things which come out of your body, you take possession of it. You say, this is mine. So the child which came out of your body, you believe is your son or your daughter. Do you do the same with the gunk that comes out of your nose or something like that? That is also born from your body, no? So my Guruji explains like this. You don't take that as your child, isn't it? But it has come from your body. So then what makes you think that that's something which came out of your body is your own? Why are you taking ownership of it? So it's exactly the same thing. If I was born in a factory, okay, there is a molding machine and a bottle is born over there, I cannot call the molding machine or the plastic machine which creates the bottle as my mother, can I? That's the stupidest thing on earth. You got the point or no? So it is human beings who start believing that somebody is the mother, somebody is the father, somebody is the child, somebody is this and that, and we take ownership of it. So he says there isn't a time when things were like this, the way you were born, not there, and somebody was there. Everybody was born in different families and everybody came from different regions. We don't even know. Somebody is born in a Surya Vansh, somebody is born in some other. How do you know that? Do you remember? I want you to think about this thing very carefully. Now, listen to what I am saying. In one life, Shri Ram is born, okay? And his wife is Sita Maiya. Alright? Now, Sri Krishna is born later on, okay? And he has his wives. Can he call Sita Maiya his wife? No, you are very particular. It is Shri Ram's wife. Shri Ram's wife, not Shri Krishna's. You are very particular about it, isn't it? Will you keep the statue of Shri Ram and next to him Rukmini or something like that, or Radha Rani? Will you, any time you have two images in front of you, one is Shri Ram's image and one is Radha Rani's image, will you keep them together? No. You will not want that image over there. But see the way how it is. We want to have this particular thing. But isn't it the same Lakshmi? Isn't it the same Lakshmi born as Sita Maiya? Yes. That is Mahavishnu's wife. And Mahavishnu has become Shri Ram. Got the point? Everybody comes from one source only. But then I am not willing to put Sita Maiya with Sri Krishna. Do you get the point? This is how we are. Always we have come and gone, come and gone, come and gone, come and gone. And we are so much attached to our own, kith and kin. My wife, my children, my house, my family, my country. We keep on doing this. So that is the reason why he says we were here before, we are here today, and we are going to be there in the future also. But the same person you will not accept. So why in this life are you thinking that this is your child and this is your husband and this is your wife and this is this one and that one? Don't. Just as boyhood, youth and old age are attributed to the soul through this body, even so it attains another body. The wise man does not get deluded about this. Like you keep on changing, from a young girl into a grown-up. You are a small baby. And from there you became a young girl. And then you grew. And then you became a woman. And all these stages of your life have come. Of the same person, by the way. But we don't want to accept it. We are not here to accept it like that. So what he says, everything changes. Everything is different. Why are we so much attached to one thing? That one thing in life. Why are we so much attached to our own people or place or things? We should not be. And the wise man does not get deluded by it. If you are a wise person, you are not going to get deluded by it at all. You are not going to be saying this kind of words, that why should I not do this fight? Why should I not fight? Next verse, verse 14, O son of Kunti, the contrast between the senses and their objects which give rise to the feelings of heat and cold, pleasure and pain are transitory, fleeting. Therefore, Arjuna, endure them. We'll do the next verse also. Arjuna, the wise man to whom pain and pleasure are alike and who is not tormented by this contact, becomes eligible for immortality. Now here is a very, very important lesson for you all. Life is going to give you right and the wrong, the good and the bad, the hot and the cold. These extremities are going to keep on coming in your life constantly. Every day there is a change. There is pleasure one day, there is pain one day. And this is a constant change which keeps on coming. If you are a wise person, you are not going to get upset because of this. If one day there is a problem, the next day the problem will go away. Have you not seen it in your entire life? One day there was a problem. Maybe you were failing in your examination, or maybe something had gone wrong in your life. But that was so many years ago. You have crossed all those years and have come today. You know, the pain which you had in 2022, you think it is there just now? No, the pain went away that time only, and you never noticed it. You had a pleasure of coming first in your class or getting good ranks or something like that. That was the only day of your life you were feeling happy about it. Next day the problem started. Which college to go to? What to do? And when you went to the college said admissions are full. you had pain at that time. And you said, what is this? I got good marks, but I didn't get the entry into a college. One day there was a boyfriend. Next day he became your enemy. Hasn't it happened in life? It happens. And we are so much attached by this. What is he saying? What is Sri Krishna saying? These kind of changes keep on happening constantly. There is sunrise and there is sunset. The moon has its phases, isn't it? The moon has its phases. It waxes and wanes. Tides come and go. The right becomes wrong and the wrong becomes right also. We should not be attached to anything. He is very clear. If you are not attached to anything, then you are not going to get disturbed by whatever happens in your life. Do you understand? If something good happens, don't gloat over it. There is no point in gloating over something that is happening nice in your life. Today you may buy a BMW car, I say, oh, I bought a BMW. And tomorrow you may have no money in your bank account. Do you think it's not going to happen? It is going to happen. Someday you're enjoying your life in the middle of the streets. Next day, nothing. The streets are gone. Look at what is happening in the Middle East. You see, there was a very good kingdom in the past. Okay, that was called Iran. The women in Iran used to wear the trendiest of the clothes and roam around in the streets. That was during the time of Shah Raza Pahlavi. He was the king of Iran. By the way, he is the person who was having our peacock throne. You remember peacock throne in our history? So the peacock throne was with him. Now, where is the peacock throne? No idea. We lost the peacock throne and we don't even care. This person allowed everybody to roam on the streets the way they are. Today, nobody is allowed to roam on the streets like that. You can't wear trendy clothes. You can't wear. I'm talking about the women. I'm not talking about the men. That can happen in that country. You think your country it can't happen? Anything is possible. The good and the bad, the right and the wrong, the white, the white and the black. Hot and cold, these are two extremes and they keep on happening constantly. After the cold, there is going to be heat. There are heavy rains and then there will be no rain. Water is available today, water may not be available tomorrow. Got the point or no? Things are going to change. If you are a wise person, you are not going to get disturbed by any of these things, whether it is there or not there. So, any person who understands this, how does that happen? It happens with the contact of the senses and the object. You have your senses, no? You have senses like vision, hearing, seeing, you see things with your eyes, hear things with your ears. Think about it. If you have a very good friend of yours and she is always talking very highly about you, okay, are you happy with it? Yes, of course. Your friend says, oh my God, look at her, she goes to the gym every day. Look at her body, the way she is training herself in the gym. Oh, I would like to be like her. She's telling you these things. And then one day, you have not gone to the gym and this friend of yours is talking to somebody else. You know, when I look at her, I think of only a walking stick. Look at her body. She is not good, you know. She doesn't eat anything. She doesn't do anything. Oh, you are hearing all these words. Hearing all these words. The same friend of yours becomes a villain then. Oh, is that so? That's the way you think about me, huh? And you want to act like a friend? Hasn't this happened in everybody's life? Yes, everybody goes through this up and down. And that is the reason why we don't have to get carried away by this. The same person who praises us is going to even, give us a very long lecture also and say something bad about us. Don't be under the impression that that person is good. Everybody has equal amount of goodness and the villainness also in them. Remember this. Nobody is yours. This is one line you should always remember. Nobody is yours. The only one who is yours is God Almighty. Because He is the soul inside of you. Alright? How did that happen? It's the contact of the senses with the object. What is the object? I overheard something. Isn't it? Same thing with your own eyes. If you see something and you think it is very nice, I'll tell you something very, very funny. Okay, you go to your friend's, inauguration of the house and all that, housewarming ceremony. You go for that, isn't it? And the person has bought a house worth 5 crore rupees. 5 crore rupees. And you are thinking in your mind, where did this person get 5 crores? My husband and her husband is working in the same company. Where did they get 5 crores from? And that is the way you go to their house and, hello, how are you? Housewarming. You are wishing them very nicely. But in the heart of hearts, what are you thinking? Where did that person get so much money from? And imagine that woman says to you, oh, he got a legacy from his parents, My God. At that moment in time, everything collapses for you. Why? Because you are hearing some words. And the same thing if it was happening to you, do you think you are not going to be in that person's shoes very soon? Think about this before I end this. You want to come first in your class. Now think about it. When you are a kid, you wanted to come first in your class. Now think about it. If you want to come first in your class and you work really hard and you come first, and there are 40 other students in your class, that is 39 others, What are those 39 other students thinking of you? They are calling you names. There is one lady who was the beauty queen of this world, and she was getting married to one boy, one man, many years ago. The whole world was in love with this one woman, okay? And this guy was marrying her. He was mighty pleased about getting married to her. The whole world was upset. Oh my God, that fellow is useless. That fellow is like this. He's getting married to this beauty queen. He's worthless fellow. She doesn't understand. She doesn't have eyes. She could have got married to another handsome guy and blah, blah, blah. We say all these things. And now they are going in for a divorce. Good riddance. Very good thing happened. Aren't you behaving like this? Exactly how we behave. So there is equal amount of goodness in us and equal amount of villainness also in us. Why are we not understanding it? We don't like what is happening, and sometimes we like what is happening. So this yo-yo that is there in your life, you have to give up. Everything happens for a reason, and don't get into it. Don't bother so much about why things are happening, where they are coming from, and why. So what is Sri Krishna saying over here? Don't get carried away by these two extremes, the pleasure or the pain. Okay? Stay neutral. Just go through it as if nothing is happening. You are going to be pained. Something is going to go wrong, you are going to be pained. And something is going to happen, you are going to be happy. But don't get carried away by it, because soon it is going to turn into something bad. If you win the prize, the whole world is going to say, oh, this fellow cheated. Isn't it? So don't get into all these things, because even victory has its own problems. Got it? And that is the reason why, if you understand this and you stay out of all these things, then you get immortality. Now, this is what Sri Krishna has explained to us in verse 15. So we will stop over here.
Recording.